strove to transmit to my students was a religious idea, which is, look, you're way more than you think, for good and for evil. And actually, the easiest way to discover that is to take a look at the evil. You can become convinced of your own evil and terrified of that in a way that's easier than to become convinced of your own good. In any case, there's more to you than meets the eye, a lot more. And you're much more dangerous and promising than you think. And what that means is that you have an ethical requirement to discipline yourself and turn yourself into something, because the world depends on it. And the churches, they don't say that. And that's what you have to say to young people. It's like, get yourself together. Everything depends on you. Your decisions are important. And you asked why people turn to ideology, or maybe even to atheism or nihilism. It's like, it's no trivial matter to take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Especially when you start to, you know, I tried to learn the lesson of the Holocaust, which is what everyone who attempts to derive moral lessons from the Holocaust insists is the right response. What's the moral lesson? You're a Nazi. You better get control of yourself.
Right.
You could delight in the torture of other people. It's very frightening to realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the church, of course, the Christian church has a very well-developed model of evil. It's very sophisticated. Christianity is very sophisticated in its representation of evil, unbelievably sophisticated. And that's extraordinarily useful and necessary. And I think the church, I don't think the church demands enough of its young practitioners. It doesn't offer them enough, and it doesn't scare them enough.
Right. So I wanted to finish my thought from earlier. So what I was saying was that participating in organized religion sort of ironically didn't seem enough to fulfill my spiritual impulses. And I could be speaking, you know, maybe not sort of in a representative way. Maybe if I did fully immerse in the religious lifestyle, maybe I could have achieved that state. But for me, it just seems sort of, I don't want to use superficial, I don't want to use pejorative terms here, but there was something more that I needed. And so then I sort of veered down this path of mindfulness meditation and contemplative practice, which did then start to fulfill my spiritual impulses of, you know, meditating 10 to 20 minutes a day, focusing on all the flurry of thoughts that are appearing in consciousness and how we seem to identify with these thoughts and they completely consume.
Yeah, you needed a practice.
Yeah.
You know, and that is something else that the church, the Christian church, could offer to young people. It's like, okay, you want to be a Christian. Okay, what do you do?
Sure.
You know, maybe you volunteer at a hospital.
Right.
Like,
so
you need practice. It's not just religious belief. Religious life isn't just belief, right? It's not a set of philosophical propositions. It's also a practice. And you found some solace and some utility in a spiritual discipline.